Hey brother! So Ben, two nuts are walking down the street and one of them gets assaulted. Yeah, roll the intro. So Ben, like I was saying the other day before I was very unrudely interrupted by the Beth, every time I hang out with our grandpa Len, I somehow manage to teach him something about salt, which is the most unusual thing for me because I'm not like a salt expert or anything, and he's certainly been around it longer than I have. So today I figured I'd tell you what I happen to know about salt. But like I said, I'm certainly no expert, so please just take whatever I say with a grain of, sand? Is that the expression? The first thing is never orphan the salt. That is to say, don't leave your salt on someone else's doorstep and expect them to use it for you. That's just rude to the salt and to the people. Unless, of course, your salt has a lightning bolt scar on it, in which case you can leave it on my doorstep, whatever, I'll use it, I don't know. No, what I mean is don't separate it from the pepper. Like if someone asks you for just the salt or just the pepper, pass them both. This is because salt and pepper are considered married. That's right, the black and the white seasoning, married. And I know what you're thinking, today not such a big deal, but back then, salt and pepper have been married a long time. It was a big deal, especially in the seasoning world. I mean, Cinnamon is such a bigot, you know, he was not for this at all. But salt and pepper, such a good couple, they said, no, we're doing this. So before you judge, remember that most of the food you eat is probably flavored with some of the most progressive seasoning in the world. Trust me, I'm a fake expert on these things. Another reason not to separate the salt and pepper is just so you can tell them apart. I mean, normally it's pretty easy, like if they come in different color containers like this, but sometimes they come in containers that look the exact same, like this. And then what do? You could just pour some out to see what's in there, but you might not want to risk that. So the other way to tell, and I found that a lot of people don't actually know this, is that salt always has more holes on the top. Mind-blowing, right? So once you figure out what shaker you have, you just have to shake it on your food. Easy, right? Wrong. Because sometimes you have the salt that's like really clogged in there, it has tiny holes, and you really have to shake, and then sometimes you're like, avalanche! And you certainly don't want to assault your food like that, right? Well, oh, I already used that joke? I'm sorry, you guys, I shouldn't pepper you with the same jokes over and over. So to avoid the avalanche, just pour some in your hand first to gauge the speed, or just pour it on your hand and use your hand as the shaker. So now we figured out how to identify the shaker and how to get it out of the shaker, but when to use it? Well, certainly not before you've tried the food, I'll tell you that. How dare you assume that this food is under seasoned to begin with? You may as well walk in the kitchen and cook the food yourself. You disgust me. Alright, my final tip is not actually for your food, it's actually for your drink. Well, I mean, don't put salt in your drink, that'll be tip number one. But this is something you can do at restaurants because a lot of them don't have coasters, they instead use those little drink napkins. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when I go to take a drink and the napkin comes with it because it's stuck to the bottom of the drink. It's infuriating. So to solve this problem, all you have to do is put a little salt on the napkin ahead of time and boom, napkin-free drink. That's it for me, Ben. Hope you learned something today. My question for you and everybody else is, what food can you not eat without salt on it? Let me know down in the towel section below, and I will see you in another life, brother. Avalanche! 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 And the napkin comes with it. It's like stuck to the bottom. The condensation is dripped down and made the napkin stick. Avalanche!